Okay, this is Ingrid Calvin, and this is my research question. Self-defense in Arkansas. If John repeatedly insults Mike at a bar and Mike finally pulls a knife, and then John pulls a gun and shoots Mike dead, does John have a viable claim to self-defense? I say yes, because um, the Arkansas Code 52607 says a person is justified. Well, the code is use of deadly physical force in defense of a person, and it states that a person is justified in using deadly physical force upon another person if the person reasonably believes that the other person is committing or about to commit a felony involving force or violence, using or about to use unlawful deadly physical force, or imminently endangering the person's life or imminently about to victimize a person as described in 915-103 from the continuation of a pattern of domestic abuse. Okay, so I found this case on Westlaw, Nelson versus State of Arkansas. The defendant, who is Milton Nelson, was involved in a fight um, with the victim. He was convicted of manslaughter. He appealed. Um, the Supreme Court, J. Brown, held that evidence that the victim was the aggressor and the victim was at times a belligerent person, and the defendant knew that reputation weighed in favor of the defendant's plea of self-defense. The appellant, Nelson and Joe Robinson, um, were involved in a fight. There were three separate fights, but the appellant, Milton Nelson, tried to break up the fight, saying we shouldn't be fighting each other. Joe Robinson and his sons walks up to the appellant and tells him to back off. So the appellant the appellant said that Mr. Robinson grabbed his hand and he tried to break away, but he wasn't successful. So the appellant shot up in the air, and because he didn't want to shoot the victim. So Joe Robinson and his son, Antoine Robinson, Antoine was shot first. Um, and then he turned around. See, right here it says his son Antoine was approaching, coming up behind his father. And just as he looked up, about 5 feet or less, and he was going to throw bricks, so he shot again, and the bullet struck Antoine. Um, Also, Joe Robinson was shot as well. And there was also evidence that Robinson was at times a belligerent person. An appellant testified he knew their reputation. And those factors, again, weighed in favor of the appellant's plea of self-defense. And so the case was affirmed, and the conviction was overturned because the Arkansas Code says a person is justified in using deadly force upon another person if the person reasonably believes that the other person is about to commit a felony involving violence, to use unlawful deadly physical force, which happened here, because the only thing the appellant tried to do was make peace and not have anyone fight. But Joe Robinson and his son Antoine Robinson, they attacked him, and the appellant shot up in the air. And when that didn't work, they were still approaching him. They were charging at him. He was forced to shoot, and the son was shot first. The son died, but the other victim, Joe Robinson, He didn't die. Again, this is Ingrid Calvin. Thank you.